Hi, this is Kimberly. If you wish to go straight to videos, there are timestamps below in the description. Please don't chew me out and complain in the comments and observation section and leave vulgar, rude, impolite, and uncouth, ill-mannered messages for me, because they go straight to the held for review zone where I have to manually assess your remark for approval. It may be flagged by me and reported to YouTube, yes, by me, and or the case whereupon I will place a firm block on you, such as this. This is a dandy example. I went to the held for review zone, and there one was right there. I just now got this in that little roped off area I was telling you about 3 hours ago. Brenda C. Allen said, "Boring. Voice going to sleep. Sounds like you're reading a story to your grandchild." Well, thank you. See, boys and girls, this is actually a compliment, and it was mistakenly routed here. I'm going to validate and authorize it to go to the area where scholars are discussing the Gabby Petito and Baldo deadhead boyfriend Laundrie case. In brief, if you don't want to listen to me and are just here for the videos, there are a plethora of timestamps in the description below. If you aren't new here, you already know this. And some of you don't want to listen to me, but you distress and anguish yourself regardless before clicking away to the stories. Why must you torment yourself so? Like a big fat baby you go on. Go on. Please refer yourself to the description box below the video for comprehensive timestamping. And have a splendid and enchanting day. All of the things of that nature. Much love and peace. Now, look guys, I have so much to say about this case. I am bursting at the seams. I have lots of commentary notes and lovely ideas in the works. Trouble is, I'm slow. And Wednesday, I will not be in the office. Next Wednesday, that is. Yeah, the 13th. Unless that evening, still high on anesthesia, I decide to get on and do a Molly Go Lightly from my computer. Nah, I'll just save most of my thoughts for a video dedicated towards Mommy and Daddy Laundrie and their 24-hour laundromat, and their lawyer that will take you to the cleaners faster than a 1-hour laundrette. So what I'm doing here is grabbing bits and pieces from interviews and news stories from all over the web. I cut out the drivel and or pleonastic redundant portions and thusly pair it with similar topics. As a whole, I feel they tell a more inclusive and dynamic story. We don't need to hear the newscasters ask these same questions over and over. We do want, however, to hear the differing opinions and knowledge that their experts have. Those that are squeezed into a too short time slot and, well, now we gotta go so we can show you the great prices on bracelets our resident fashion expert has found. Fuck that shit. Cut out the slosh, people, and let the experts expound. There is a reason you contracted a 30-year FBI seasoned warhorse. Let him talk. Sometimes the interviewee will make their point over and over again, not knowing what else to say. They're not being led very well. They have experience in law or on the scene, they're FBI agents. They have experience in criminal law, not fucking broadcasting. They have their knowledge, but they don't have the skills for public speaking. We don't need or want their unnecessary shit that they're talking about because you won't lead them. How the hell do they get their job? Professionalism has died. Maybe they chose the wrong person for the job, either the interviewee or the interviewer. However, editing ums and ahs and you knows seems to be a passion of mine, or it's highly possible I'm OCD. I don't know, there's something wrong with me. People tell me so frequently. And shit's wrong with you too, dickhead. Fuck off. But my point is, there's a reason public speaking classes are available, people. If ever I take my show on the road, You can butter your butt and call it a biscuit. Better believe I will take public speaking. I think I should have a private instructor for myself, 'cause I'm special, all uniquely gifted and shit. Let's talk about shit. It's one of my preferred vocabulary words because it is so multifaceted and shit. I have been and will continue to incorporate it often as you hear me nanner on and on and on. You will pick up on the versatility of the word and want to try it for yourself. Please do. And if you don't like my style, someone will happily show you to the exit. And stop telling me to, quote, get to the fucking point. You're stupid, rude, and have no class. I liken you to toenail fungus, which Baldo no doubt has a severe, ongoing, and neglected case of. Go away and find someone's channel more suited to your ignorant, boring, pathetic self. Now, let's talk about Brian's sister, Cassie. Let's call her Cassie. I think she's tired of being Brian's sister right now. I didn't know there was such an age difference between the two siblings. She said 8 or 9 years, and that really explains a lot to me. They're close in a way, but they're not close. That's a huge age gap. Between my oldest and youngest is a 10-year age gap, and it's a lot. They're practically different generations in the music, the likes. They don't get each other a lot of times. Brian is a spoiled brat of that family, and I believe her when she says she doesn't know anything about his whereabouts. Several of the people doing the quote-unquote interview in front of her house that were shouting and hollering, being assholes, they were just nosy neighbors that wanted to make their 2 cents known, like anybody gives a fuck about your 2 cents. Get a fucking YouTube channel. Someone will watch. Someone will find you quite enchanting. That one biddy just kept on writing Cassie. Cassie and her husband were extremely patient and gracious. I was quite surprised at this, actually. I was getting angry for them, but they just stood there full of patience and grace. I gotta hand it to them. But then again, who knows? Maybe they are good actors, like the rest of the family. She does seem different, though. There's something genuine about her. The people doing their quote-unquote interview just kept saying the same shit over and over, and I cut that shit to smithereens and pieced it together so it flowed, and I cut out a lot of the heckling. It was quite unnecessary, and I just wanted to hear what Cassie had to say, not them nannering. Like I said, if you want a nanner, get a fucking YouTube channel. And I'm not a total bitch. I do understand they got Cassie to talk, and they did ask some good questions. I like Cassie. She seems to be very truthful, seems to be forthcoming. It's not her fault what her parents have done and not said and not included her on. I think the Labor Day family thing was to make things appear normal. The one question she has not been asked, though, anywhere that I've seen, and she did not address, and this is very, very glaring to me. I want to know, Cassie, did you ask, where is Gabby? Did you ask, where is Gabby, when you were on the Labor Day family thing? If she's part of the family, I think it would be noticed that she's not there, and I would have said, oh, where's Gabby? Maybe she was spending time with friends or family or whatever. Why don't you address this if you talk again? A statement to the press. I mean, did you ask, where is Gabby? If you did, what did they say? This is what I want to know that I don't know yet. They kept shit from her. Not only did they perhaps want to protect her, they're all about protecting their children, especially the big fat baby of the family, Baldo. He's been nothing but a mess of filthy laundry since the day he was born. And that whole media circus that came about of Cassie being misquoted in her first interview. This is, this made her kid, when this busted open, they hadn't told their kids anything yet. It made them find out in a horrible way that, number one, Aunt Gabby has died, and number two, Uncle Brian ran away from home. They all lived together in their parents' house, the yellow one where everybody's protesting. Cassie and her family and Brian and Gabby, they all lived together there. Mr. and Mrs. Dirty Laundrie were still in New York, I would assume wrapping up things before moving to Florida. And Cassie's husband said he was remodeling the house. And Cassie said, I'm telling you this because it's hard to hear because people keep talking over them. But Cassie said that Gabby and Brian were getting jobs and getting settled in. Her family, her parents, I think they knew she would not approve and would turn them all in. I've included the snooty bitch, the newsreader, that probably considers herself a journalist, but she did a rebuttal that made her look not only unprofessional, but a droll buffoon about the whole misquoting thing. She should have just not, in my opinion. In one of the interviews that I show you, Dan Abrams said something that I had not considered. That the reason the parents of the year are not talking to Cassie and telling her shit is actually to protect her. This leads to having them sound almost human-like. I didn't know whether to soften my heart or get peeved and pissed the fuck off at the nonsense of that notion. They could potentially be safeguarding her from some heavy-ass federal charges. As an example, aiding and abetting, harboring a fugitive, being an asshole. I'm talking about ma and pa underwear wash and rinse laundry. They could charge you for that, right? For being an asshole? I think there are federal mandates on that shit. And I'm sick of these people telling Cassie what she needs to do and what she needs to say. Shut the fuck up. She has been told to shut up by lawyers and the FBI. Hush, don't speak. Keep it to yourself. Now, that doesn't mean one can't sit at their computer with a hot mic and upload one's thoughts to YouTube. Hey, I'm not hollering out in the street. I do it from the comfort of my own home, with the doors locked and shades drawn and shit. And telling her that she needs to tell her parents what to do and say. Fuck that shit. Did you not get that she is not talking to them right now? They are not talking to her. Communication has been shut down, idiots. Christopher and Roberta Laundrie have remained steadfastly silent amid intense public scrutiny as their son Baldo became the subject of a nationwide FBI manhunt. Aww. If Molly Golightly had her way, they'd be hung up and pelted with Florida oranges. And just damn be the neighbors. They are mostly some quiet folks, it seems, aren't they? I'm guessing none of them have a YouTube channel. They would be blowing this shit out of the water if they did. All they'd have to do is sit in the garage and drink beer, set up a camera on a tripod. They could just do lives all damn day, and then do a highlight reel, wrap up each day, each week. I've always wanted to move to Florida. I'm going to ask Marissa Zadinsky, did I say her name right? Molly Golightly, for the address to the public wash house. I wonder if she drove there or flew. It's so nice down there in Florida this time of year. Father Laundrie is Chris. He's 62, and Mama Laundrie, Roberta, is 55. They live in a normally quiet suburban neighborhood in Northport, Florida. There's a population of 75,000. They are about 50 miles north of Fort Myers. What do you want to bet trick-or-treating has been called off this year because of all of this shit? So guys, I have an upcoming video that I have gathered quite a bit of info on already. It's not done yet. I'll just surprise you with it one day. I don't know when it'll be done. I'll give you some background on what it's like to live as Dirty Laundrie. Should be interesting. Let me go now so y'all can watch these videos. One that is included is after that stupid-ass traffic stop where baby Baldo got his feelings all hurt and claimed Abby was being mean. Then he was escorted to a free hotel stay by that policeman, and that policeman was being all cordial and shit to fuck face. That pissed me the fuck off. And do amuse me by exchanging your thoughts in the comments. Please bask in and enjoy today's Kimberley presentation. Much love and peace. Thank you for listening.
when Gabby was missing, the parents weren't even looking for her. They weren't even out looking for her.
We don't even know what they knew.
I don't know if my parents are involved. I think if they are, then they should come clean.
I'm scratching my head about the parents. I mean, I've hunted down violent felony fugitives for 3 decades, and if I Q&A'd mom and dad, I'd sit at their kitchen table and I would look mom in the eye and say, Mom, if you knew where your son was, would you tell me? And 9 times out of 10, George, they would say no. That tells me 2 things. 1, they know where he is. And number 2, I got to take a hard look at mom and dad and their cell records and so on and so forth.
Peter said there could be more charges on the way. Does that mean anything, does it change anything for the parents if they are involved with his disappearance?
Yeah, it depends on that timeline. That's something we talked about before, right? Before or after the arrest warrant, right? The minute that arrest warrant was issued, if they assisted him, they are harboring a fugitive potentially, or they're aiding, etc., in some way. If it was before the arrest warrant was issued and he was just a person of interest and they were with him, for example, as long as they didn't specifically lie to the authorities and send them on some wild goose chase, then they're probably not legally responsible.
Northport police responded to the Laundrie home dozens of times in the past couple of weeks for so-called calls of service. Details of each call are unknown, but the Northport Police Department says the records include traffic control and any other interactions out there. And 2 of the calls were made the day before Gabby Petito was reported missing, and 3 calls on September 11th. And the speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest is just wrong.
These fugitive investigators are turning his trusted circle of friends upside down. That digital footprint is very important. Mom, dad, family members, I call it 𝐭𝐿𝐻𝐿 and 𝐬𝐢𝐧𝐜𝐿. They're looking at everything. So
it's those efforts to support a fugitive that often lead law enforcement, the FBI, right to that fugitive's doorstep, right? So they'll be looking closely at any sort of communications, access to financial instruments, all sorts of things that might connect someone in the community, be it a family member or otherwise, who might be supporting or communicating with Brian. That could actually direct law enforcement to his location.
That bank fraud warrant the FBI was able to get is a home run for law enforcement, for anyone in law enforcement. They could utilize that to, let's say he's held up in a dwelling or a house. They can make a forced entry now. They have a legal document. They could also use it as leverage going into any conversation with a family member, a trusted circle of friends. Aiding and abetting or harboring a fugitive, it's a federal offense. You're looking at a 5-year mandatory minimum sentence in a federal penitentiary. So you don't want to mess around with things like that. So they could use it to their advantage.
Your own parents are not talking to you for what reason? They just...
The lawyer said not.
Whose lawyer?
Their parents' lawyer.
Their
We
lawyers.
don't have a lawyer. We have nothing to hide. We were told not to talk to anybody. And I'm upset that we have to come out and do this.
That may be the key with regard to Cassie, too, is the parents may know something in that period before he'd had an arrest warrant, which they don't want to disclose. Telling the parents not to talk, in particular, not to talk to the daughter about anything, does suggest that there's something that the parents may know that the lawyer doesn't want them to disclose. Typically what an attorney will do is tell their client, who in theory should be Brian Laundrie here, and I guess it's the parents too, but I understand him saying to Brian Laundrie, look, don't talk, don't say anything, etc.
Mr. Laundrie is widely known by the public, right? He is on television, his picture is on television, his social media posts for the weeks leading up to this. So he would be very recognizable were he to leave the reserve and try to make a run for it, as we say, on the economy, just through local society around where he lives. With as recognizable as he is, to go out into the world and try to do it on your own, very tough. To try to live in that reserve, probably even tougher.
Really wish he had come to me first that day with the van, because I don't think we'd be here.
Thank you.
We want to know what the hell.
No, hey!
When you guys were children, like every summer I went to a place. Where was your summer vacations at normally?
We didn't have that. We grew up on a great street where our summer vacation was hanging out with our friends.
What was your brother like when he was in middle school and a teenager? What was he like?
I didn't live in the house at the time. We're 8 or 9 years apart. We're not.
Yeah, you're older.
Yeah. He's not like we were little together brother. My brother that I don't talk to that much.
Have you heard about September 14th where Brian allegedly bought a burner phone at the ATM? from the. Do you think his mom was with him? You think your mother? Because they said
what the news says. I don't know what.
Brian didn't like a cell phone to begin with.
Yeah. What did the FBI take out of the house here? Like what?
Nothing.
They came here though.
Yes.
We met with them multiple times.
You met with them multiple times.
Yeah.
Did they ask you for like polygraphs or anything like that?
No, but
No.
we don't know.
We're not involved in this at all.
Do you know what date your brother flew back, that your dad paid for the plane?
I didn't even know he paid for the plane.
Did he fly back?
Yes,
from
he flew back.
like
and they
around
got
like what the
the
17th or something?
Put it into their house.
Around like the 17th or something after the fight.
He got here on the 17th. I don't know what day he left.
Did you see him on that trip?
Yes.
What was discussed? Anything? Was he discussed about?
They were talking. He was telling me where they were going next. I FaceTimed with Gabby and the kids on that trip, and then I didn't.
Did he say he got in a fight with Gabby?
No.
He didn't talk about that incident?
Just was a surprise to us.
Yeah.
What's his hobbies? Like, does he like do camping, like at outdoors? And do you think he could survive out in the woods for a month?
I think anybody could survive out in the woods for a month if you grab a book and go out there and try.
Police have said they're factoring in Brian's reported skills living off the grid in their search for him, but Cassie says it's unusual for him to be gone for this long.
I'd say Brian's a mediocre survivalist. It wouldn't surprise me if he could last out there a very long time. But also, I don't think anything would surprise me at this point.
It's incredibly hard to be on the run. I can tell you in my 21 years in law enforcement in the FBI, I've seen very few people do it successfully for a long time. You're thinking about Whitey Bulger. You're thinking about Eric Robert Rudolph, the Olympic Park bomber who allegedly lived in the woods for 5 years before we found him. You have to have money, you have to have support from your family, from the community, and you have to have a deep level of kind of cunning and street smarts to be able to kind of bridge from one place to the next. There's no indication that Brian Laundrie has any of those things working to his advantage at this point. And if he's in fact in that reserve, that's an incredibly harsh environment in which to try to sustain yourself.
Does he have that skill set?
I believe so.
Is he an environmentalist, survivalist type? I mean, he knows camping, knows...
I believe he bragged about that, like that he was good at that stuff.
Cassie says her brother has taken multiple trips for up to 5 days at a time on the Appalachian Trail, where multiple tips have been reported. And over the weekend, a possible sighting was reported to investigators along the nearly 2,200-mile trail near the Tennessee-North Carolina border.
He could possibly be on the Appalachian Trail. I mean, she even said he's survived out there. He's gone out there by himself for weeks at a time. So I would focus and concentrate on that area, and I'm sure they're doing that.
Do you think he's alive?
I hope so.
You hope so?
I asked the Laundrie attorney, are Brian's parents fearful their son is dead, or do they believe he is alive? He answered, sorry, no comment.
Do you think he's dead?
No idea.
I hope my brother is alive because I want answers just as much as everybody else.
Right now, law enforcement's chasing a ghost. I mean, Brian Laundrie, he's gone dark. He's off the grid. He's not communicating, but I'm sure he's sleeping with one eye open.
No, I do not know where Brian is. I'd turn him in.
Do y'all now 100% believe that he is out there hiding somewhere? You believe he's hiding somewhere? You believe he's hiding somewhere? Do you believe he's hiding somewhere?
I do.
The Laundrie family attorney released a statement saying in part that Brian's parents don't know where he is.
If the FBI finds him in Timbuktu, I'd be like, all right, well, that's where he was. I've got nothing.
The idea that they want to continue a scent dog to find Brian is fairly encouraging. That means that perhaps they have a location that they're focusing on that we don't know about.
Is he living off the land somewhere?
Possibly.
Oh, that's the million-dollar question. He could be anywhere. They say he's a survivalist. Is he in the Appalachians? Is he in the woods somewhere? Is he in Mexico? Is he sitting on a boat off the coast of Cuba? You know, that's anyone's guess. However, you know, the U.S. Marshals, our task forces, other law enforcement, we're global. We have an attaché in Mexico City and in other areas that fugitives like to run to. So it's very difficult, especially his photo is nationwide. Social media is fired up. I think there's a $170,000 reward out there. And you know, George, the streets talk. So, you know, like I said, I hope this goes down without incident and they put this to bed sooner than later.
We would like to give his nephews an answer to when they can see their grandparents again, when, you know, see their uncle or talk to him or anything. You know, he was their hero, so.
Cassie sharing this photo exclusively with ABC News, showing Brian and his 5-year-old nephew camping at Fort Desoto Park with their parents 5 days before Gabby was reported missing.
That made my kids find out this horrible way with questions. We were waiting until there was some kind of closure, so the kids were just sad. Instead of sad, worried, and now really scared.
So when he came here September 1st, right? You said he came, what did he come here for?
My parents wanted to surprise the kids to pick them up at school. I did not know that Brian was with them when we had previously planned to hang out with them.
If you truly loved her, you should turn yourself in. I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess.
If they can get the message to him, I mean, he's laying low, he's off the grid, he's definitely not communicating as far as I know, so, and he's scared. He's certainly sleeping with one eye open, so, yeah, if he gets that message, he may very well turn himself in, but he's on the run, George, and you know what I always say, you can run, but you can't hide, and when you run, you only go to jail tired.
The last time I physically saw it and the last time I physically spoke to my brother was on the 6th. Just went for a couple of hours and we ate dinner and had s'mores around the campfire and left. And there was nothing peculiar about it. There was no feeling of grand goodbye. There was no nothing. I'm frustrated that in hindsight I didn't pick up on anything. It was just a regular visit. It was definitely painful to see everybody just be upset. People saying they saw public domestic violence. I've never seen anything like that from either of them.
You ever seen Brian hit Gabby?
No.
Have you ever seen him fight?
No.
Have you ever seen him hit any woman?
No, I've never seen him be
Domestic
abusive
violence
or
runs your
angry
family.
in anything. No.
You know that
they
have a concentrated domestic violence.
No, yes, or else we would have done something about it.
Right.
Like, I don't stand for that. I was in a bad relationship similar to that what's saying has happened. I wouldn't let that happen.
I definitely feel like if they had all of the 911 calls from the multiple people they said, that I think that it would have gone a lot differently and we'd be in a different situation.
Has he ever been violent with you?
No.
It was pretty typical of them to argue and try and take space from each other.
We talked to neighbors. We canvassed your parents' neighborhood.
Yeah.
They've heard screams coming out of your parents' house on multiple occasions.
Your parents' home.
Okay,
Screams.
I don't know what to tell you about
Might have
that.
been our kids. We lived there for a year.
Oh, you lived at the home in 𝐭𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴?
Yeah,
Gabby and Brian lived with us.
when they were in New York.
And you never seen them fight? No argue? No?
Of course, you know, we bicker,
But nothing-
everybody bickers, but nothing like what any, like, no.
You guys lived in the house at 𝐭𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴. Everybody lived there.
No, my parents lived in New York.
Oh, they lived in New York. You lived in the
Yeah,
house.
We were remodeling the house.
And then Brian and Gabby came there.
When they moved down to Florida, they moved in with us to get on their feet.
How did they
find
meet?
jobs.
High school.
High school.
I did not say that I saw my brother. I said I haven't been able to speak to him in reference to the time when I was called by the police. Since that point, I haven't been able to speak to my brother. The media ended up misconstruing what I said when they asked me if I had seen my brother. Like I said in the beginning, they didn't say, have you seen Brian? It was, what's the weirdest thing about this all? It was, I haven't been able to speak to my brother. I tried to contact him after this. I tried to contact my family after this. I hadn't been able to speak to my brother. I didn't say that I didn't see him. I said I didn't speak to him after that question. Was like, what was the weirdest thing that I haven't been able to talk to my brother? As in, from the 11th forward, I have not been able to talk to my brother.
Around.
Yes.
If you read the transcript, it's right
The transcripts are out there of everything that was said, and then I was misquoted on inside the article, but that's not what I said.
You'll remember that Cassie Laundrie, his sister, told ABC News last month that she had not had a chance at all to talk to her brother Brian about Gabby Petito's disappearance. But now I've learned that she was with Brian Laundrie once at her house and once at that family camping trip September 6th.
The media said that, and my parents' lawyer really screwed me over by saying that he just
Well, I
stopped
saw
by.
the comment that
he
he
did
made.
not just stop by on the way home, and I was livid, and I'm not speaking to anybody.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
done. because that put me in danger.
September 17th, Brian Laundrie's sister, Cassie Laundrie, told ABC News she had not spoken with her brother since he returned to the Laundrie family home in Northport on September 1st without his live-in girlfriend, Gabby Petito.
I haven't been able to talk to him. I wish I could talk to him.
Now the Laundrie family attorney confirms that may not be true, texting me this. Cassie saw her brother Brian on September 1st when he stopped by her home, and again on September 6th at Fort Desoto Park. Law enforcement agencies are well aware of these dates. I called and texted Cassie Laundrie for comment on this discrepancy, but have not received a reply. Attorney Stephen Bertolino also told me that when Cassie answered ABC about not being able to talk to her brother, that was a difference of relating an answer to a question misinterpreted by Cassie or poorly posed by the inquirer.
I've tried to get in touch with him. Phone went to voicemail.
We have fully cooperated with the police since September 11th when they called.
I've been cooperating with the police since day one. I have been in touch with law enforcement.
I tend to believe Cassie. I mean, she's forthcoming. You look for those nonverbal communications in any conversation. She didn't have them. She gives up a lot of things. She tells us that Brian jumped on a plane after that incident in Utah and came back to Florida, then went back out there. So I tend to believe her. And again, she's forthcoming, so the parents may be just kind of taking a step back and not wanting to get her involved in whatnot.
The day Cassie learned of his disappearance, she says she immediately told investigators about that camping trip.
It was not hidden from law enforcement.
Do you know that she was missing when they went to Fort Desoto?
No.
You didn't have
September
no clue
11th,
that she was missing?
The detective that was working with Gabby's mom called me up while we were on vacation.
We were in Orlando.
And then I called her back because we were eating dinner, and I told her everything she needs to know. We told them from day one that we were at Fort Desoto with them on the 6th and that they came over here on the 1st. The police has known everything that's out there the whole time, from September 11th night on. That's when I became involved, and I knew nothing before that. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that it's my kids.
Thank you. And we are leaving. We are leaving, and we're not coming back. I'm not coming back.
Thank you. Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you, Cassie, for your time.
We appreciate
You have a good day.
Right day. Yep, thank you.
Very powerful. The Cassie Laundrie, sister to Brian, James, her husband, came out and talked to us. They came out and talked to us, and I listened to them. And we've been outside the Laundrie house, the parents, for weeks protesting. We're not coming back here. We're not coming back here unless something develops that she knows, but I will give her the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, they had advice and said that they weren't supposed to come out and talk to anybody, but they did. They came out and talked, and we kind of got more clarification of what was going on. So we're out here. God bless.
Why do you believe that?
Because she's a coward. Flat out. I'd use some other words, but I can't use them on your show. He's a coward.
He's too coward to kill himself, too coward to come forward.
Yep.
He's just on the run.
Dad, anyone that lived in that house is a coward. And they don't know how to stand up for their actions. They are.
We're going to come in here and we're going to attempt to take some Tyson? Yep. Officer Robbins still called for me? He did, yes. This is Brian Laundrie. Alright. So he's going to get you all set up with your hotel room, and he's going to take care of it from here. Alright. Well, alright. So and like I said, just remember my requests. I think it'll make a big difference in you guys' next couple of weeks at the very least. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. For everything. No problem. It's nice to meet you, Brian. Nice to meet you. Have a good one.
Like garbage?
Say her name.
Gabby Petito.
Say her name.
Gabby Petito.
Say her name.
Gabby Petito.
Gabby's life matters.
Gabby's life darn sure did matter.
Gabby's life matters.
She was a beautiful young woman that had her whole life ahead of her, and your brother snuffed it away, and you guys have helped cover it up and help him escape.
And you lied.
This is personal to us.
Public, Cassie. You decided to talk to the media and
lie to them
and say you didn't see Brian.
You're a liar.
Last time you seen him, he was before.
How is anybody supposed to believe anything that comes out of your mouth?
Comes out, you were camping with them, September 6th.
What did you guys dispose of?
With your parents, you were camping with them.
There's no way all you guys.
So why did you lie?
Camper. How did you stay there?
Why did you lie, Cassie? What are you trying to hide? What are you trying to hide? Now you want to stay silent?
Didn't want to stay silent with ABC,
family.
did you?
You didn't help Gabby's family when they were missing. You didn't help Gabby's family when they were missing.
We want to know what the hell's going on.
I'm coming out to talk to you, okay? Please
Thank you.
We want to know what the hell's
going on.
I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to be mean. We have fully cooperated.
If I were you, change your strategy because
We don't have a strategy.
they don't have a strategy.
Yeah, they don't even have a lawyer.
Gabby deserves better, and maybe help pressure your parents into doing the right thing, because I'm telling you, Gabby's family's suffering gravely, and your parents know more than they're letting on, and it sounds like they deceived you, which is not good for any parent. And I'm just hoping that maybe some pressure from the family might help them cooperate with law enforcement so we can put an end to this. Like, I got better things to do. I'm burnt up. I've got chapped lips.
We've been out there. You have a beautiful neighborhood. We've been outside your parents' home for 2 weeks. We just want answers. We want them to come forward and share everything they know. But they refuse to, they just stay silent. They're in their home. Yesterday they went out gardening in the back of their house, during, Brian's on the loose. They haven't given any public statement saying, hey, Brian, turn yourself in,
Or
help me find my son, or like nothing.
They're outside
Nothing.
gardening.
They're
out
just
gardening.
as baffled and blown away as everybody
It's like,
else.
we are here
Same
for
boat.
the Petito family. They are suffering gravely. Things that you will never even feel.
Hope not.
And
I
it's just right now, having your family destroyed, and then the people that you trusted your family member with is ignoring you and hanging up the telephone on you.
I understand. I'm in the boat where I'm getting ignored by my family and thrown under the bus by my family's attorney.
Gabby's father, Joe, posting on Instagram saying Gabby followed her own path to travel and see the beauty of this world. You may be gone, but you will make this world a better place.
I've been cooperating so that everyone gets answers. They deserve answers. I worry about him. I hope he's okay. And then I'm angry and I don't know what to think.
Do you think Brian killed Gabby?
I don't know.